How do you write an equipment list? Now, sometimes your method will include all the equipment you need, so you don't need to write an equipment list. But if you're doing a proper big scientific report, it's really useful to have one. It's very useful also to write this list in a bullet point format. As you can see, it's really clear in that bullet points exactly what equipment you need. If you decide to write it in a big long paragraph, sometimes that is a lot harder to pick out those bits of equipment. So don't write it in a paragraph, always write it in a list. The people who are reading your report must be able to tell what equipment you've used, so they can have a go at trying the experiment too. When you're writing an equipment list, you need to write what you've included, with a lot of detail if you can, so they can copy your experiment. It's sometimes important to have why you've included it as well. So why have you got that bit of equipment? And for some experiments, this equipment is better listed as a diagram as well. But if you do have a diagram, make sure you label it. Let's have a look at an example. Our example experiment is about testing whether a cup of coffee or a cup of tea makes your teacher happiest. So, what's the equipment list going to look like? First off, let's have a think about what equipment you'll need. Firstly, you're going to need 2 mugs, identical mugs, one for tea and one for coffee. Next, you're going to need a kettle to boil the water. Thirdly, you're going to need some water to boil to make the drinks. You're also going to need some tea bags to make tea. You're going to need some coffee to make the coffee. And you're going to have some spoons because you need to stir those drinks. And some milk to add to it. You could also have sugar, but this teacher doesn't like sugar in her tea. A measuring cylinder is really important to make sure the drinks have the same amount of liquid in each to make it fair. And you're going to need a camera to take a picture of your teacher's smile at the end to see which drink has made them happiest. That's a good brainstorm of our equipment, but as we've seen, we need to list it in a really obvious way. So here's some bullet points with some clear bits of equipment and clear reasons for why we need each bit of equipment. An equipment list is important because people who try your experiment to try and get the same result as you, to see if you've done a good test, need to be able to follow it exactly. So that's how you make an equipment list.